Kim, you ready? We'd like to call the Plaquemine Parish June the 26th council meeting in order. Roll call. All council members present at this time. We know that LSU won the World Series, so we're gonna have Mr. Garrett, who's the only person that's truly representing LSU to lead us. No, to lead us. No, he's gonna lead us in the pledge, and Councilman Chris will lead us in the prayer. All right, everybody say 8. Prayer first, huh?
I pledge allegiance
Prayer first.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we're gonna pray. You did the opposite way.
Let us pray. We take this moment to acknowledge Almighty God and thank Him for our bountiful blessings, especially the parish's natural resources. We give thanks to God for our brave and courageous men and women in our military who daily risk their lives to protect our precious freedom. And we pray for our world leaders to know how to obtain world peace. We pray that this government body, comprised both of council and administration, will always serve our parish with honesty, humility, and equality to all. And as this government body gathers here today, we pray that for the wisdom to know right from wrong and the courage to do that which is right. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all. Let's
You ready?
proceed.
Item 2, executive session. There are none. 3, proclamations. There are none. 4, administration updates.
Good afternoon. Under operations with Mr. Wishers, the levy, the cutting crews, they're consistent 4-week turnaround on the levies. The added support from additional levy department team members have contributed quite a bit to that effort. The state highways, we're cutting them once a month. However, with the the heat index and the repetitive rain, we're seeing there's a rapid growth in grass. You can see that all over the place. So we're trying to do some additional cuts on those as well. From Mr. DeMarco, the water billing software update. The kickoff meeting was held last Thursday between Infomark and the vendors to discuss the implementation schedule. We're looking somewhere toward the end of January 26 for that to be completed. And from my understanding, that's pretty aggressive. I was told that sometimes that could take a year to do, so they're being aggressive on that as well. The public meetings are being scheduled for the advanced manufacturing corridor, so those dates will be coming out to us pretty soon. The courthouse repairs from some of the storms in the past, those have been completed, although there's still some cleanup that needs to be done. The park in District 3, we can announce that we did get a $15,000 grant for the recreation part through 2025 AARP Community Challenge Grant. So that was successful there. Those funds will be used for the construction of a pickleball court, which that's a very popular sport right now. Registration for the 2025 volleyball and flag football seasons are now open. Residents may visit the parish website for more information on that. Under Coastal and Ms. Buck, we had a meeting last week with Chairman Dove. It was very successful. The meeting turned into a new coastal project, Baptiste Colette Land Bridge and a shoring project. This project will protect the lower end of the parish from storm surges. The wooden for Brad and our Director of Projects, Representative Bro has appropriated $250,000 for lighting on Woodland Highway, and this lighting would be from the roundabout as you come at the bottom of Woodland Highway, where Plaquemines Parish starts, to the Planters Canal Bridge. And the Peters Road update, a meeting was held on Wednesday, 6/25 in Baton Rouge regarding BKI's contract. DOTD is continuing to move forward with approving the final man hours and maximum compensation amount. Once that's agreed upon, they will make the contract a priority and move hopefully quick on that as well. So that concludes us for the day.
Any comments from the audience? Pull it down to your work.
Don't break it. I might make me pay for this thing if I.
At least you can, we know you can afford to pay for it.
Clarence Bronx, 156 in this Campbell Lane. I heard Mr. President just say something about the storm surge and some land area to protect the storm surge, but it's on the West Bank, I think it is. But we also have one on the East Bank. I think it was told a couple of months ago that it got one that's 5 foot. That's supposed to slow the storm surge down a little bit. And I think that's the reason why we have Waterside Highway 15 all the way from White Ditch to Phoenix. But I just want to let y'all know, because that little storm, it might help us in doing the storm surge, but right now it's doing a lot of damage to people's cars. If y'all came from up the road, I doubt it, y'all came from Pronounced Ferry. We got alligators that we hitting every night. I mean, big alligators, one that totaling out cars. So all the stuff that left out the marsh back there is on the highway, and people are nobody getting hurt, but people only have liability insurance on their cars, and they are demolishing their cars. So I just want to let y'all know that storm surge is working, but not the way we want it to.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Anybody else from the audience? Table, let's take an order, but name, we start with downtown. Pierce?
Mr. Brock, we got alligators on the West Bank too. And the land bridge he's talking about is on the East Bank, so. Yes, sir. Got brought to our attention yesterday or this morning about the cameras in this building, the security cameras are out. So we need to see about looking into it.
I'll look into that. First I heard of it.
They sent me and Mitch a text about them. And since we having the Katrina Memorial in August, think we could get, because there's some eaves hanging from the museum that needs to be replaced or put up, maybe pressure wash the building.
I'll put that down.
Thank you.
My neighbor?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple things, Mr. President. I know you spoke some lighting on Woodland Highway. Is there any plans with lighting on the Woodland Bridge itself? Because on the downside, all those lights out, somebody went and cut this has been like that for a while. You know, increased traffic gonna be on Woodland and I don't know, it's probably too late to put it in. I probably should have brought it up earlier, but when you spoke about Woodland, it triggered my mind. But it's real dark when you come around and turn down there on the Plaquemine side of the canal. So if we can,
I'll talk.
if it's a possibility, it might be too late. I understand.
No, that's DOTD. They've got funds. They can.
Okay. Well, with that, and no one from, I guess, Miss Ashley, the pickleball. I know you spoke about the pickleball court ring thing. I've had a lot. So pickleball at the multipurpose building is like huge success. So some residents were asking if there's any possibility of doing more nights and stuff like that. So if we could squeeze that in for the residents, they'd appreciate it. Thank you, and I yield.
Champagne?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. President, my comments are the same as Mr. Newsom's, that we have talked about the lighting on Woodland Bridge. It's a real problem. And with the increased traffic from just about, residents from one end of the parish to the next, just avoiding the bridge, it's significant. We also need to look at tying in from the base of the bridge to where the Plaquemines lights will begin. It's a very dark area. I think we owe that to our citizens.
What this lighting project is.
Okay. And then the other thing, we need to ensure that the lighting that they put in complements or is in keeping with the design of the new traffic circles. I hate to see them put lighting in that we're just ripping up at the beginning of the year because they're building the traffic circle as well. So
If-
just make
if
sure we
you-
have that plan in
If
consideration.
you take notice, they've got the large metal poles. There's some lights that are at the foot of the Woodland Bridge at the roundabout. If you take a look at those lights, that's where these lights would be installed. They would be the same type of lights. And I'm going to also go out, you had made reference at the last council meeting, we're in communications with Entergy. So we are going to be making a mad dash throughout the entire parish. And we've asked them to start on the southern end and to work their way up on all of that. I know you've done this before in the past, but you know what I'm fixing to ask, huh? Huh?
Twice it rotted off.
Okay. If by chance, if you could maybe do that that'd be appreciated.
Better tape.
Yeah. So, but we've got that process going, so that's, they know that's important, so we need to get that done as well.
Vatican brother, Mr. LaFrance.
Yes, thank y'all for the report. Mr. DeMarco, could you please give Ms. Gail Lawrence a call? She has some questions about the wake signs, from the wake sign in Myrtle Grove, and also the levee signs.
Okay, yeah, I'll get with engineering. I told them, I asked them to make up about maybe 10 or 12 signs. And I also talked with someone with PPSO. We'll get out there and mark where we want them.
Good, thank you. Mr. Billy, thank you for having that, the road graded in front of, Diamond Park, the shoulder. They did a pretty good job. But before before the grader go back up, could we have them make another pass to make it a little bit more even?
Yeah, they're gonna also start on the north end and do all the low sides, because if you notice, some of what they did the high side.
Yeah.
High side doesn't usually hold water, it's the low side, so they're gonna take care of the whole road.
Great, wonderful, thank you.
Mitch.
Yes, Ashley, you know what I'm gonna ask you. Summer's getting away from us. Splash pads and the automatic switches, you know, the panels we need. Is there any update on those?
Yes, so for Empire, I approved a requisition, I believe it was this week or last week, to purchase that panel, and a PO was issued. So now, I would say by next week, we should have an update on Empire. It should be open to the public.
Okay, thank you.
So we move forward on that.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I want to, Mr. Brock addressed the alligator, and we called about getting them moved from the side of the road, because of people hitting. I ran over one myself, and part of the rubber under my car hung, but a lot of people. The problem is when they killed on the side of the road, they left there, and they're real large, they swell up, it stink, and a lot of women, people are concerned that they stop. They have to work on their car. Who want to stop on the side of the road working on a car with a nasty alligator there? You know, we was told that any cherry pickers can't cross the ferry, but it seemed like something could be done immediately, because if you travel down the road, coming here, but I know y'all excited about using the Frontier Ferry, so y'all probably didn't see it, but we have about 5 alligators on the side of the road, about 7 to 8 feet, real large. And they're smelling, they've been guts because buzzards don't eat them, and they need to be removed some kind of way. We call animal control to say we done, but it's a serious problem. Yeah. It's a serious problem. So I hope that we can find some kind of way, at least push them in the grass, because people are just really frightened by them.
We will. Mr. Ferrer, with the health department, I know in the past we had Mr. Fortmeyer, Randy Fortmeyer. He would be the individual that would go out and take care of the large animals. So we'll, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, in the past, we had animal control for the smaller animals, but for bigger animals that they can't handle, they normally call Mr. Fortmeyer to either pick them up or, I'll make sure that the larger animals, and they push them far enough off the road so they, they don't impede with someone having to stop on the side of the road.
Thank you so much. And again, while not totally completed, I still want to thank, Recreation for the work that we're doing in the Burkeway Park. We're planning a celebration for the extra benches and other equipment and the grills and stuff like that. I've got so many people have been calling me how excited they are and asking me when can they use. I told them, they can go do it now. But anyway, so thank you, Ashley, for making that happen. So I really appreciate it. And Jeff, even though it haven't happened, but we did get this large box for Jonah in our office, and we didn't know it was, and we understand we finally getting a sign that's gonna go up in this coat room. So I really want to thank you for that also. I'm sorry, Mr. Konovich.
Reverend, come down the road. I'm going to teach you how we eat alligator. We don't leave them on the road.
We got to start getting people drug tested on this council for some of the stuff they're saying these days. Don't come with the stuff like that.
I don't know if I should talk.
Yeah, because we're going to get drug tested if you're following what he said.
Well, for what it's worth, alligators don't eat buzzards either. I tried it when I was alligator hunting. Every buzzard stays on that hook the whole season. But to get to that, I really want to get with the administration here shortly, because we do give parish tags, and I don't know, I think it goes through wildlife, and I think it's 5 tags per person. We definitely have an alligator problem too, but we definitely have an alligator problem now. They're no longer endangered, and maybe we can work on trying to get that limit maybe to 10 tags per person. I don't think that would hurt, but it still has to come off of parish property. But it would help a lot because we do have an abundance of them. And you got 5 dead on this side of the road, river? We got about 35 dead on the other side. And look, push them in the grass.
Because y'all eat them.
Push them in the grass, they still gonna stink. So, yeah.
Something need to be done, that's all I'm saying.
Right.
Thank you. Any other comments from the table for the administration? Thank you again, Mr. Hinckley. Yes.
On Mitch's thing about the tags for the parish, used to be a lottery system. Now the same people get them every year. And I'm getting complaints from other people that want to get tags and they can't get them.
If you would, get me a list. Every time, when you get a request, let us know. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we'll give it to one person. We don't care if one person come get it. That's not our concern. Okay, next item.
5, bids and advertisements, there are none. 6, beer and liquor licenses, South Plaquemines YMCA Tailgate Cook-Off on October 18th, 2025, starting at 12 o'clock p.m. and ending at 6 o'clock p.m., located at Empire Safe Harbor. Councilmember Kotnovich.
Offered and second. Any comments from the audience? Administration table. Machine is open for voting. And it passed with all 9 council members voting yes.
7, building permits. 7A, construction permits. 7A1, Southern Oil of Louisiana LLC, application number 2025-328, application date 6/9/25. Install and maintain 2-inch pipeline to serve SL 18550, well number 1, Breton Sound, Block 51. Councilmember Edwards.
So offered.
Second.
And offered second. Any comments from the audience? Okay. Administration table, machine is open. Thank you, Mr. Rock.
Man, that's right there behind the levee, right? Right there.
Miss, want y'all stop, bro. Want y'all stop. And it passes with 8 yes and Councilman Konovich abstaining. Next item, please.
Building permits, B and C in Globo, Cajun Oaks RV Community LLC, Brett Bowman, existing permanent trailer park renewal, 10680 Highway 23, Belle Chase, Louisiana. Councilmember Jurisic. PTRW Prop LLC, Peter Tragle, Robert Wolf, existing permanent trailer park renewal, 103 Lartigue Street, Belchase, Louisiana. Councilmember Schultz.
Offered by Councilman George, second by Councilman Schultz. Any comments from the audience?
Hi, David Clark, 108 Avenue A in Bell Chase. Just, I'm not against them by no means, but does the code enforcement go out and look at these things prior to renewal? Now that we put,
Yes, they do.
they do?
Yes, they do.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Anyone else? Administration table. Machine is open for voting. And it passes with 7 yes, 1 no, and 1 abstention. Next item.
D, E, and F in Globo, Cardinal Fireworks stand renewal for 2025, 215 Croatian Way, Belchase, Louisiana. TLC Novelty William Hall Fireworks stand renewal for 2025, 103 Avenue A, Belchase, Louisiana. TLC Novelty William Hall Fireworks stand renewal for 2025, 8480 Highway 23, Belchase, Louisiana. Councilmember Schultz.
Second by Councilman Champagne. Any comments from the audience? The administration table. Machine is now open for voting. And firework will be blasted 9-0.
8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions.
We have the following for Councilmember Edwards: an ordinance to amend the 2025 general fund operating expenditure budget, legal judgments department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. A resolution creating a one-time holiday on August 29th, 2025 in remembrance of the 20th anniversary of the landfall of Hurricane Katrina in the parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to levy millages on the 2025 tax roll on all property subject to taxation by the Plaquemines Parish Government, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember McCarty, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, drainage repairs, Barrier Canal Project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The following 2 are for Councilmember LaFrance. Actually, 4 for Councilmember LaFrance. A resolution approving the issuance of a 2-year extension to Woodland Borrow Pits LLC for the existing borrow pit located in a floodplain zoning district at 22238 Highway 23, Port Sulphur, Louisiana, all in accordance with application number 2019-753 dated June 28th, 2020, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, road maintenance parish-wide project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, road repair, Milan/Caroline Drive project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, repairs Diamond Park project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The following 3 are for Councilmember Jurasich: an ordinance to acquire a 300 square foot servitude from Daybrook Fisheries, Inc. for construction and operation of a lift station in Empire, Louisiana, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. An ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, camera inspection, Milan/Caroline Drive project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And an ordinance to amend the 2025 operating revenue budget and the 5-year capital improvement plan to accept a donation from the Empire South Pass Tarpon Rodeo, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto, and that is it.
Next item.
You want to go over the agenda,
Yes.
deferrals, withdrawals?
I think we give Kim, you want to list the
Okay,
draw?
this is what I have. I have, item B is in boy. C is in cat.
What are we doing with it, deferring that or?
Yes. Sorry.
Sorry.
And I believe, okay. And item M will be deferred also. And I believe that is it.
You got,
And item 11A1, no, I'm sorry, wrong one, wait. Item 11F will be deferred also.
And I have E.
D and E, we can withdraw.
Withdraw.
Got it.
That's what I had withdraw.
Everybody,
So it should be D, E, and F.
You
But F is defer.
do y'all want me to read it again?
Please.
Items B is in boy, C is in cat, are being deferred. Items D is in dog, and E are being withdrawn. Then item M is being deferred, and item 11F is being deferred.
Okay, let's revert back to the agenda in order.
9, ordinances and resolutions on second reading and final passage. F, an ordinance declaring lots 44 and 45, square 30, South New Orleans subdivision jointly owned by Jefferson Parish and Plaquemines Parish and located in Jefferson Parish, no longer needed for a public purpose, and authorizing a sale of said property pursuant to public bid and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Edwards.
Yeah, can we withdraw that right now? I really don't really understand what's happening with that at all.
You want to talk to Rennie? This is selling some.
For discussion only.
Second.
So a way long time ago, we basically had a joint drainage district, which was a state entity that was created, and it was between Jefferson and Plaquemines. So there's this property in Jefferson Parish that we owned as a joint drainage district with Jefferson, which is no longer needed for our drainage purposes and no longer needed for Jefferson drainage purposes. So as people are interested in these properties, they approach Jefferson Parish about purchasing them, and they are parceled up. So anytime that happens, Jefferson will reach out and say, you know, are you guys interested in this property? So it's basically property we don't use. It's in Jefferson Parish. It's not needed for drainage. And so when they want to move forward on this stuff, they approach me. I present it to you all because they do need our permission to sell. And then when the sale is made, we split the proceeds.
Okay. I'll go with it and get a second. Second by Mr. Konovich. Any discussion, comments from the audience? Administration table. Machine is open for voting. And it passes with all 9, with all council members voting yes. Next item.
An ordinance to amend the 2025 manpower structure and operating expenditure budget, coastal zone levy department, and otherwise to provide with respect to Councilmember Schultz.
Second by Mitch. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table? Machine is open for, no, can somebody, I really can explain what's really happening here for me? Okay, chill.
In general, we create this position, basically our first week in office on this new term, as an unclassified position. That person is no longer employed with us, and I feel, my view is make it back to a civil service position. And so I'm just unfunding it and probably come back at another time with a civil service superintendent type position.
Okay, because that was my question. So you're not proposing,
Not, yeah, I think we're going to talk.
I really would like to just leave this alone. to put this position in civil service is gonna, it's gonna set us up for failure because this person or individual will be out there when storms, working with us 24/7. And when you start dealing with civil service, there's just so many rules. So if we could, we don't have anyone in mind for this position. But I'm gonna tell you, we really need this position filled. And I just kind of, if you defund it, then how can we even advertise and go look for somebody?
Well, my view is every other department superintendent is also out in storms with prom, with garbage, with everything else, and we have superintendents. No other department has an assistant director unclassified. So that's my view.
Yeah.
That's where I stand.
All right, well, that's good. That's, you're.
Billy Alexander.
Yeah, I just would like to add that the highest level in the civil service side is superintendent. In my opinion, and Ms. Buck or Mr. President can correct me if I'm wrong, this particular position is not a superintendent position. It's much more of a hybrid between superintendent and director. This position, you need to be able to be the boots on the ground guy and the guy in the fancy shirt in a meeting with Corps of Engineers, CPRA, and it's more of those type of responsibilities than it actually is boots on the ground. Now, in times of issue, it's boots on the ground, but every other day of the year that they're working on that stuff, it's much more administrative type stuff, and it's too much for one person. It's too much for Ms. Buck to handle, especially with all of the stuff Ms. Buck now does at the state level to bring progress to us. This is a position, in my opinion, that I see the need for, and it's not a want, it's not a specialty position just to have someone point the finger. This is an important role when it comes to coastal and levees and all of the inspections that go on. Even though we do have supplemental help through some engineering firms, this is an important role, and it's above superintendent.
Mitch?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you right now, as far as it goes to civil service, I don't wanna have civil service choose people because for one thing, they don't hire people, we send them all the time. I'm really disgusted the way civil service works. I got a lot of young people that come through my office and get job applications that get denied. And it's always, really no real justification for denial for some of these, especially these young people who want to work for the parish. I do think that this is going to be a more skilled position, that we need to have someone that knows what they're doing with this. I don't know who it would be. I mean, I would hope Ms. Buck would have a lot of say in who this hire would be because that's the one she has to work with. But I'm gonna promise you, civil service may send her somebody that doesn't fit the bill. And I do believe that this is a more skilled and supervisor position. So I get where you're going with it, but believe me, I've been fighting with civil service since I got in office about hiring people that we send to them, and they just get overlooked. And I think it's talented people that could get the job, and I think this is allowing them to have too much control over this position. I think, look, I work with the storms and hurricanes. I'm on the ground, boots on the ground, and I want that person that understands what's going on. I know it's not just for that reason, but I do know in those reasons that you want that person. I want that person I can call. They can get to me in an airboat. They can do what they got to do to help because when we get cut off down the road, we depend on that guy or girl, whatever it may be. That's all.
Ms. McCarthy?
I'm agreeing with Mr. Jurasich in the sense that I think this really requires a higher skill set than perhaps the last person that was in the position, especially if the person is to meet with other professional representatives of the state that have degrees, perhaps in coastal or engineering. Also, hurricane season is upon us. We need to be able to advertise to fill this position because of the need for hurricane season. And is the compensation for this position adequate for getting someone that is qualified to meet with all these people and to handle something higher than a superintendent position? So just take a look at that and evaluate it, please. Thank you.
Mr. Schultz.
Well, I agree with you on civil service, but that's every position, Mitch. My goodness, the accountants that we get advertised for is being handpicked. If we're going to do this, then let's just get rid of every civil service position and do unclassified. I mean, I wish we would. I've been asking to fight back on civil service for 2 years now. And well, I met with you and your attorney in your office, and he was
Hold on, one at a
let me
time.
finish.
Hold on, one at a time. Right now, you have the
tasked
floor.
one of his attorneys to look into what we can fight back with, and I have yet to hear back 2 years later. So I would love to, but I'm not legal. You get laughing, but you know it's a problem.
It's a problem.
But where is the results? So to say that, the civil service is a major problem in every position. All these extra requirements now, and you say, why aren't we advertising? It's been 2 months roughly now that this position's been open. So why aren't we advertising? I'm not getting into the background on this position, but I just feel like, I mean, why don't we have assistant directors in other departments that I think we need them if we're going to go that route? But civil service is a problem, and I wish we could fix it all. I mean, it's a complete disaster for us, not only on the parish side, but on the port side. So if that's your argument, let's just do something about it.
Yeah. You want to respond, Mr. President? Okay. Mr. Konovich?
I've been bringing it up for going on 7 years now. We putting the millage back on the ballot. Put this on the ballot. All we need is 2/3 vote of the state. We get rid of it. If it don't pass, where we at? We're in the same boat we in. If it passes, we get rid of it. So if we do an ordinance, put it on a ballot, and we vote on it. Get the people to vote. And I take offense.
I'm sorry.
Hold up.
Let me go back to mic control. You way down here somewhere. Where you at? There you go. Oh, there you go.
We canceling each other out.
Oh, there you go.
Just because somebody's got a degree don't mean they could talk to somebody. I don't have a degree. I talk to presidents in Croatia. I don't need a degree to talk to somebody.
You have a lot of practice.
Oh, hold on.
But just because somebody's got a degree don't make them a genius neither. I know people that have doctor degrees, and I wouldn't let them walk my dog. So.
Are you yielding now?
Yep.
You know, again, and the reason why I asked the question is because I'm still for having a lot of unclassified positions. Because I think a classified position, because I think unclassified position allow for too much of a political play being taken place. Again, a lot of other positions are civil service. Again, I don't think nobody has been a critic like civil service than I am, but I still think that each case that it did on a case by case. I've seen situations where the port had been diligently working with civil service and they'd be able to get some things done. I think this is another one of those positions that we can do it. The thing that's happening with us with Coastal, as I said from the beginning, Coastal at one time was just Hammer or one person going to Baton Rouge getting money. All of a sudden, we have created a department. That's what we did. I mean, overnight, we created a department. If it's going to be a department, then it should have staff, and certain positions on staff should be classified positions like we have everywhere else. I don't think that we should have any department that have just unclassified positions. I'm not getting into the education requirement. I'm getting on, but I just think that classification is needed. That's just my 2 cents in the matter. So we just had this for discussion, and so maybe.
No. Yours was
moving on.
discussion.
You want to move on? Yeah. Okay. Any other discussion? The machine is open for voting. And it fails. 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses and 5 no. Next item.
Okay, one second. You good? H, an ordinance to amend the 2025 manpower structure and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
Second.
Second, any comments from the audience? Administration, table, Schultz, get the floor.
So I just want to be clear what we're doing. We're taking one position, unfunding, but with that, we're creating EMR positions, which is going to be basically drivers, and hopefully we can get more ambulance service to the to the residents of the parish. Eventually, hopefully, change the schedule, add another unit on the streets, and all this other stuff. So this is the start. It's been a work in progress for 2 years also, but we finally got through civil service. By the way, through civil service, working with civil service, and got this approved and everything. So that's what we're doing.
Thank you. Machine, if no other discussion, machine is open for voting. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake on mine. I'm voting, okay, there we go, machine. Okay. I'm good? I'm good. Okay, I'm good, no, yes.
You'll do a verbal.
Be good, Dr. Good. I'm good now. And it passes 9-0. Okay, next item.
I, a resolution authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to enter into a second agreement with Capital Area Finance Authority for the purpose of allowing low and moderate income borrowers of Plaquemines Parish to participate in authority's program of financing home ownership and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Schultz.
Offered by Councilman Schultz, a second by Councilwoman McCarty. Any comments from the audience?
I do have a question.
Wait, Mr. Rogers.
Clarence Box, 156, Enos Campbell Lane. Can somebody explain this to me? Is that a bank want to loan people money to buy houses or build
So
houses?
this was a Capital Area Finance Authority. They were in 61 out of the 63 parishes. Last year, they came to us, and we joined the program. It allows them to go through and possibly get loans or something at a lower interest rate based on your qualifications. It's no cost to the parish. Everything's done through them, and this is just a renewal of that program.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically low to moderate income. You can go get certain types of loans,
Okay.
type deal, for houses.
To build houses and buy houses.
Correct.
But it's been existing.
Yes, it's renewal.
Yes, this program's been in place. This is a renewal. They had to go out for another bond through their program, so we have to add that to our language to basically renew the program. But it's no cost to the parish. We actually, depending on the situation, could get a couple dollars here and there based on if any residents. I think within the first 2 or 3 months, we got our first check from them because it's based on location and certain parameters in place.
I bet you on the East Bank, a lot of people don't know this exists because I might want to go borrow some money from.
What?
You asked questions when we voted on
Hold
this last year.
Yeah, no.
Because I
Yeah.
purposely had it down here for the East Bank, because, I remember you asking questions when we voted on this last year.
Yeah, but also, Mr. Brock, I know people definitely went and called me about this program and went, applied to it. Now, I don't know if we have any numbers of how many people are participating
I
in
can
it.
get those.
Yeah, we can get that
out.
to show you, but I know people at East Bank personally that have went to it, whether they received it, they didn't call me. People get money, don't tell you they got money,
Right.
but they came back by to get it. So I know people know about this
But
program.
we don't know if they got a house. If they got a house, they got the money.
I don't know, they might have got it from you. I can't make that decision.
Nothing. I appreciate that. I'm going to pass that on to a lot of people who need
Spread the
housing.
word. Thanks.
Need housing. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Machine is now open for voting. And it's passed with all 9 council members voting yes. Next item.
J, an ordinance to amend and as amended readopt ordinance number 10278 to remove the exemptions for Council District 1 and District 6 from Section 1356 Enforcement Authority and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Newsom.
I'll offer and ask for a second.
Second, any comments from the audience? Administration, table. Machine is open for voting. And it passed with all 9 council members voting yes. Next item.
A, an ordinance to amend the 2025 general fund operating expenditure budget, buildings, general department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Newsom, this has changes.
I second with the changes.
Read the changes.
In the preamble, at the end of line 1, we are adding revenue and I'll read the whole preamble. An ordinance to amend the 2025 general fund operating revenue and expenditure budgets, plural, and otherwise, buildings, general department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The same change is being made in the digest on lines 4 and 5, operating revenue and plural budgets on line 5. Same change in, on line 11, operating revenue and the plural budgets. The word an, is being removed, and then amendment is being made plural. Then the word is being removed, and the word are is being inserted. And then beginning on line 27 through 34, there's new language. The 2025 general fund operating revenue budget is amended as follows. 001 general fund, Department Division 000-0000 revenue budget, and the object number is 434.601. Description, other state revenue pass-through grant. It is being increased by 20,000. In the old Section 2, it has now become Section 3.
With those changes, I offer and ask for a second.
I second it. Any comments from the audience, administration, table? Machine is now open for voting. And it passed with all 9 council members voting yes. Next item.
L, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvement plan, improvements, drainage, canals, parish-wide project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This is Councilmember Juristich. This has changes.
On lines 2 and 5, 2, 5, and 14, we are removing the word parish-wide. And also on lines 2, 5, and 14, we are inserting District 1.
See, that's different from what you said.
I offer without the changes, and want to revert back to the original ordinance. Give you a second.
Second, any comments from the audience?
Just a question. The drainage canals, y'all mean, this mean clean, we're gonna get this amount of money? All those numbers telling me that's a lot of money to clean drainage canals, or dig them. We're gonna rent new ones, or anybody knows? Or just clean them, or make them,
Let that in.
This money was bond money that was specifically designed to go towards drainage, the Scarsdale Pump Station, and the leftover funds can only be used as a coastal bond. And the leftover funds can only be used for drainage, levees, or coastal projects. So it has to stay in that. This money cannot be used for nothing else. And I know there's a lot of projects on the East Bank that some of this money will help, but we wanted to stay parish-wide because we got projects on both sides of the river. But you're gonna get a lot of work done on the East Bank with this money as well. We just wanna, disperse it parish-wide for drainage purposes. you always say we're here in hurricane season, we need to get something done quick. So that's why I reverted back to parish-wide, not just District 1.
Okay, oh, it's just, all right. That's what the change was gonna be in District 1? Well, we could use all that. But that sound like.
Don't go anywhere. Let me just say this. Again, I just found out this morning that this was being changed. When I came here today, I was expecting that ordinance to be my name and it would say parish-wide. We did meet with Billy with a whole bunch of projects for this. When I met, my understanding of this project, that it was gonna stay on the east bank of the river, East Bank project. I found out this morning it had been changed for it, so I'm definitely voted no against this. The other thing, I think that whatever project is, we need to look at what project being funded. What I wanted this to be amended to list what project that we're gonna fund, in drain. I'm getting mixed messages about how this money is supposed to be used, so I'm really totally confused, of what we're supposed to use this compare. I thought I understood it before I came here today, but when I got here today, I found out it has been changed, to parish-wide. When I told it wasn't gonna be parish-wide, it should be just for the East Bank, and there was a lot of projects, and some of them I think are some great projects. But right now, I'm at the point right now, even if the council member vote for this power, I'm still concerned about coming together and looking at what project is being used and making those decisions, because the projects are all over the place, and I'm not clear to whether some of the things that was told to me really could be used for that purpose. So again, just so you could have some background, but it was a money that was designed for the East Bank. Now I'm hearing today that we have some excess that was left over, and because of that, it could be used for parish-wide. I mean, that's what Mitch was telling me this morning, so I'm hearing something different. So I just wanted to give you that background information.
Only reason why I'm still.
Oh, no, that's a lot of money, but if you use parish-wide, then it would make sense. And I think that's the point.
If that's a lot of money right here, and we do it parish-wide, I mean, East Bank is only gonna get a few dollars out of it. So
no, there are some projects listed for the East Bank, so it's not that there's no project listed for the East Bank, but I think that's still have to come back. So, because what I wanted to put in this is what project would be in it, and so that's what I was hoping. So when I called Ken Dugat, it was to change it and also having a project listed in it that it was going to be used to make sure that the project listed meet the objective that the grant called for, so that part. So we got to come back to it.
the only reason why is this hurricane season right now, and for drainage on the East Bank, from Parnahass to Phoenix, we know we got the levee completely around us. And I'm still concerned, I'm still want to know if or when a hurricane come and the water come across the levees, this bowl gonna hold water and drainage, how we gonna get the water out of here? I've been told, just pumping it. From what I see, from Phoenix to Bohemia to levee is like 15 miles. And from the back highway to the front highway might be a half a mile. And the levee is 15 feet high. That's a lot of water that area gonna hold. And how long would it take to pump all that water out? And where we gonna get the pumps from? Where we gonna set the pumps at? So there's a lot of questions not being answered. And we got money to make, if we got money like that, we could use that on ways of getting the water, setting up stormwater drainage to let the water out. We dig a hole to the levees.
Let me just say, Mr. Rock, I just think that all the things you're saying, Mr. Brock, will be considered, in there. Again, but we have to have those things stated in there. Right now, if this passed today is just saying that it's going to be, there's no project in what we're saying right now. There is some project, a list of things that was proposed in it, but it's not on this. So it's not in this ordinance. That's my biggest other problem. I told Mitch, my biggest problem is that we don't have the project for East Bank listed in here, and saying that it meets all objectives. So that's my other problem with this. So you could be here till tomorrow, but I'm just telling you, this right now, what we're talking about doing right now is voting to just have the changes and that the money be used for drainage parish-wide. is what I'm hearing that we're doing right here.
But only thing, and I'm gonna get down. My time got to be up. But I just want to say there is no. When I see drainage money, I want to use that money to try to save our area from Farnhurst to Phoenix. If the water come here, we cannot come back. Y'all know that, huh? We will be homeless people. We can't come back because the water is there and no way to get it out. And for us to come back, we got to elevate our homes. We can't.
I think we're with you on that, Mr. Brock. I think you sort of exceeded your time.
All right.
Thank you. And so, oh my God. Like, let me clear. And then, okay. Now, hit again and I'll let you in. There we go.
Mr. Brock.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chelsea, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. So I have a few questions
State your
about
name.
this.
State your name.
I'm sorry. My name is Chelsea LeCount. I'm a resident of District 1. I came here on a different matter, but seeing this, I did have a few questions. This money for the pump station, so this pump station was completely repaired?
Yes.
Okay, and do these funds leave money for maintenance? Because we have a lot of problems. You know, it'll be great for a little, maybe a year, but next year, what's the maintenance gonna look like?
Anybody want to answer a question?
Are you talking about Scarsdale Pump Station particularly?
Yes, is this money also for later on? I mean,
Yeah, so when you say maintenance,
Foresight a little bit down the
it's,
road.
it's drainage, maintenance.
Right.
We have so much time to spend it.
Hold on, one at a time. Let Billy answer, and then I'll get
We
you.
only have a limited
so let-
number of times.
Hold on. So let Billy, and then we'll come back to Mr. Conovich.
So no, we do not. This is money that's been sitting dormant for several years, right, before some of us all came into office.
Okay.
It's coastal bond money that was awarded to the parish however many years ago. I didn't get all the details on that. It's intended for drainage improvements. Drainage improvements is wide open, right? It was used for levee improvements on the West Bank. It was used for some of the levee lift on the Braithwaite end. The last project it was dedicated to use for was the Scarsdale Pump Station repairs. That included the elevation, all of that stuff they did.
Okay.
It's not just in general to say we're only going to repair the Scarsdale Pump Station. So the Scarsdale Pump Station only came into play because that's the last project that was used using this
So
funding.
initially, this was just a grant and a parish-wide
It's
Not a grant, a bond.
Bond.
bond? Okay,
But it was always parish-wide.
Okay.
The last project just happened to be the Scarsdale Pump Station. So, okay, when it was introduced originally a couple of weeks ago at the last council meeting, it was introduced under Mr. Jurisich, and it did say parish-wide. The change was going to include parish-wide. Some kind of way with a bunch of people getting involved in it, the wording did change, right, wrong, in between. But the intent is, we met with Mr. Edwards and Ms. Tasia for District 1. We committed to 10 projects, and it's going to include every pump station on the East Bank, including ditch stuff. So to answer Mr. Brock's question, yes, it does contribute to any ditch work we need, right? We all know we don't have the manpower equipment to do every ditch in the parish. This will allow us to supplement contracting stuff out, anything to do with drainage. And I can't go, to his credit, the first thing Mr. Edwards asked was, could we use it for water issues on the East Bank? And that was a no. But it's any drainage improvement. And I say we, myself, the administration, the parish president, have committed to 10 issues that we all agreed on were priority issues on the East Bank. And that's going to likely take up more than half of that money to begin with. So the priority is the 10 issues that Mr. Edwards and myself discussed. He has that list, we have it. That's the whole intent of the money. It's
okay,
just not
Mr.
for
Billy, as
maintenance.
long as there's that maintenance down the road, that was whenever I heard it.
Right.
I mean, I really haven't been looped into it, but whenever I
Gotcha.
heard it, I said, well, what about maintenance? Because it seems
Yeah.
like that, it's always
Right, yeah, you fix it, never come back, right.
excited, so that was it.
Thank you. Mr. Schultz. I'm sorry, Mr. Conovich.
You don't want me to say that.
No, indeed. Now, man, key on again. I'm sorry.
Mr. Brock, how old are you? So you older than me. I've been through a few hurricanes, and I could tell you different ways the parish got water out. Used the dredge one time, cut the levees. So there's ways to get it out, and you only got a 15-foot levee over here. I got a 21-foot levee to pump out. So I got more water to pump than you, but we'll get it out. And I think all this money came from a project that was in District 9, $65 million started out. And they let them move it. We didn't do the project in District 9.
Mr. Schultz?
Correct. That's what I was going to add to was what Billy said and what you just said was this was originally District 9, then parish-wide, and ended up, like Billy said, as the last project happened to be on the East Bank. So to say that it has to stay in District 1, I have an issue. I'm in favor of parish-wide just because the source of the money originally. I yield.
Again, I was misinformed that, with my understanding, what I can see is that it originated on the East Bank for that. And so I had that in my mind. The question a lot of people getting involved with it be changed to parish. Why? That came from the conversation. And so immediately after having to meet with Billy, I called Ken Dugat, and Ken Dugat immediately called and said, no, we're going to take the parish wide. That's what I called Mitch. I said, well, Mitch, he told, okay, no problem. So I was only going by the information presented.
I didn't say no problem on District 1. It was talking about moving it in your name.
Yeah, I'm just saying because, and moving it, but during that conversation, moving it to my name because it was supposed to be for East Bank and it wasn't for parish wide. So that's why I called you, because that was given to, so I'm going to move my opposition to it and vote for it. But here's the thing. I still say that the project that Billy presented, I still think it need to be revisited because based on the information I'm getting, I'm still questioning whether we can do some of those projects. And so I'm hoping we can come back and vote whether we're going to approve those 10 projects or what project would be approved. So with that being said, the machine is open for voting. I'm sorry, Mr.
Mr. Joseph, would you repeat your offer? Because we've talked about a lot of things.
We revert back to the original ordinance.
Okay, thank you.
Machine is open. And it passes 9-0 with no opposition. Next item, please.
And an ordinance to exempt up to 4 RV sites or spaces per parcel from the moratorium established by ordinance number 2586 and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offered.
Offer, Mr. President, second by Mr. McCarthy. Any comments from the audience?
Hi, David Clark, 108 Avenue A in Bell Chase. I would hate to work in the permit zoning department dealing with RVs, I tell you that right now. We had pushed, pulled, and twisted this for the RVs. I'm for that if it was parish-wide. I'm against it if it's only for District 7. My perception as to why we want to make these changes is we probably have a few small RV park owners that have 3 spots, maybe 4 spots on it. We've allowed the bigger parks that were out of compliance to get into compliance. So if this applies to those smaller parks that are out of compliance, maybe we get them in compliance at that point. Yeah, we pretty much wore out the RV situation, I tell you that. And I don't know what's legal or what's not legal anymore. So appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on. Mr. Brock changed his mind. Mr. McCarthy.
I had a couple phone calls about this, and people were asking me about the impact fees. The impact fee is still $100 per RV. I wouldn't mind seeing if we went past 2 RVs that the impact fee went up, but I'm not going to push that. I wanted to let you know that you cannot put more RVs on a property if there's not 2,500 square feet per RV. So that's still, with 4, you would need 2,000 square feet. And then you have to have the sewage appropriation for each RV, the electrical for each RV. And then when you go past 2, you have to have road access to the RV. So I just wanted to make that clear for this change. It's not just carte blanche, you can go put more RVs on your land.
Mr. Schultz?
Mr. LaFrance, I'm going to ask a question and maybe you can explain it. So we passed the moratorium on May 8th saying no new permits or anything, but now just over a month later, we're coming back and saying 4. Why are we allowing 4 when the moratorium wouldn't even allow 2, which used to be allowed, but why are we now allowing 4? I'm just trying to get an understanding on what's changed in a month and a half. And because I understood, because you have the most RVs in your district, out of the parish, and there was a strain, part of the reasons for the moratorium was a strain on the infrastructure and everything like that. So now we're a month later voting to allow 4, but we're not even allowing 2 currently. So can you just explain it if you could, please?
I was approached by several.
Mind control, there we go. No, he gonna get you.
There you go, Mr.
Pick it
LaFrance.
back in. She got it.
You got the mic, brother.
Yes, I was approached by several residents that was concerned about trying to allow 4 RVs on their property to try to help some of the local people. I was approached by one of the farmers who's trying to help subsidize his pay because of, the situation that the farmers are dealing with, the orange trees and everything like that. So I was approached by them to help them subsidize their pay, because if not, I think you was in the meeting that they said that if they don't get any help, because they even asked us about trying to help with water, and we know that's not going to help.
You finished?
Kim's gonna do it.
You got it?
So my follow-up question is, and sorry, I know where your district is, but I don't know exactly where it lines. Does that impact the line for the temporary, because the temporary line, RV line is St. Jude Hump down. I know your district goes somewhat north of there. Does this allow, because currently north of St. Jude, it's only 2. So would this allow 4 north of there?
Yes.
Okay, I yield.
Again, that was my concern is that it should be parish-wide. That's my.
We don't have a moratorium parish-wide.
And that's why I'm saying I'm against it, because to do that, this whole RV thing from the very beginning to me is all over the place. And I'm just saying that we need to change it so other people can have that same requirement of having more than 2. And understanding everything that Pat is saying, they got to have the square footage and all those things to allow for 4. So I'm going to vote no, because anything should happen should be parish-wide. So that's why I'm voting no, because I don't like spot RVing in spots. Mr. LaFrance?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay. Mr. George?
Temporary, just so we're clear, temporary RVs parks are only allowed St. Jude South. Okay, so if there are going to be any RVs, whether they be spaces or parks, St. Jude North, they're supposed to be permanent. They're supposed to go through the normal channels, the regular channels and procedures. So St. Jude South, we currently allow that except for District 7, right? Where we have a complete moratorium. And all this is saying is that moratorium stands for 5 or more, but not 4 or less. You can get up to 2 without becoming a park. I think, what is it, 3 or more, then you have to do a park. So who's going to put in all the infrastructure for only 3 or 4 sites? I don't know. So I'm suspecting most of the people here would probably just do 2 spaces, because I don't know if it makes sense to spend all that money and you only allowed 4 spaces. But anyway, so I just wanted to clear that up.
Mitch?
Yes, so it's kind of a mixed thing here because we're doing away with the 2, turning it into 4, or is this just creating 4, a special exemption just for, 4? Is it still allowing it 2? And I know we have the issue about the floodplain and everything north of St. Jude Hump. It's not temporary. It has to be permanent. So I think in one case, everything below St. Jude may apply, but above St. Jude without the permanent, what I'm hearing is, it's confusing, and I'm mixed on it because I know, I understand exactly what you're trying to do, but you got a moratorium, and it's kind of, I know we talked about this, and I see the point, but then again, I see the point of, you got a moratorium, now you're gonna create something inside your moratorium to circumvent your moratorium. So I'm a little on the fence on this. I hope you understand that, that's all.
Neighbor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, and Rennie brought, you sparked my mind when you said that. So if someone, well, right now they can't, but say we didn't have a moratorium, if somebody wanted to put 2 RVs, that would be, they could put 2 RV sites in there, if we did not have a moratorium, but we do. So once you get to 3 RVs, that's considered a park. Am I correct in saying that?
Right, I believe it's 3.
So the rules are a little different when you go to the park situation, is that right?
Correct. When you go to a
Okay.
park, when you go to park level, you have to put in the fire hydrant. You have to put in a turning radius. You have to, you have to have a road that's so wide. So that triggers the park regulations. If you're just putting up to 2, then you can just put 2 spaces and use whatever infrastructure you have in place. Correct.
Okay, thank you, Rennie.
Mr. Cho?
So yes, I understand what you're trying to do, and I listened to the farmers when they were here a couple of weeks ago, but it's just like Mitch said, it gets confusing because, all right, north of St. Jude is going to be 2 inside the moratorium. South of there is only in District 7 you can have 4 inside the moratorium, but then at 3 you have to have a park, but only up to 4. In Districts 8 and 9 you can have.
Chairman?
So I'm kind of confused.
Withdrawn, he's withdrawn. Thank you.
It's just confusing.
You withdrawn. Thank you. Next item, please.
10, approval of the minutes from the June 12th, 2025 regular meeting.
So,
Second. Machine is open. And the minutes unanimously approved. Next item.
11, new business. 11A, introduction of resolutions where suspension is being sought. 11A1, a resolution urging the suspension of tolls on the Bell Chase Bridge on LA Highway 23 and to provide for related matters. Councilmember Schultz.
Been seconded by Mr. McCarthy. Any comments from the audience? Administration? Table?
suspension.
Uh-huh.
This is for the suspension.
Oh, suspension, okay.
But we still got to vote to suspend it.
Machine is open. And now we're gonna actually vote on the resolution.
A resolution urging the suspension of tolls on the Bell Chase Bridge on LA Highway 23 and to provide for related matters. Councilmember Schultz.
It's been seconded by Mitch. Any comments from the audience? The administration? Table? Machine is open for voting. Unanimously passed. Next item.
B, District 7 update, Hermitage Road and penalty for digging.
Withdrawn.
All, 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay.
C, discussion by Mrs. Chelsea LeCount regarding the removal of old structures and property. Councilmember Edwards.
So, offer. She's here? We don't need office, it's discussion. God bless you, girl.
Be sure she gets to the mic.
The reason I'm actually here,
Name and address.
my name is Chelsea LeCount. I live at 212 Bazille Drive, Braithwaite, Louisiana. So the issue that I've been having for many years now, since I moved from Belchase to Braithwaite, I say I, my family, we live in a small subdivision that it's been around for a long time. And there are a lot of properties that flooded during Hurricane Isaac. So about 4 or 5 houses were never removed, they just set up. One of them we managed to get demolished. There's another one right next to our property that has a camper on it. I do believe I sent everybody the email. Is there anybody that did not see the pictures? Y'all saw them? So this is set up for years. There was a no-tow ordinance in place. I do believe y'all just got rid of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that was in place. So they said, okay, we can't move this abandoned camper. So now I believe it's gonna be an issue with code enforcement unable to move the camper because whenever they do go to move it, it's gonna collapse because the roof is caving in on it. The pop-out portion is leaned to the side. So I just need some solutions.
It'll have to be demolished.
Yeah, so, I mean, does the parish even have the funds to do that?
Blighted property.
Are you responding to her or Billy respond? Who's responding?
So you know, it's gonna be part of the whole abatement process for that whole blight violation.
And the legal team has got that sorted now. I know that was another issue, the legality of it. So
Yeah,
is that fixed now?
It's fixed now.
Yeah, the only issue for this matter was if code enforcement came out and deemed it as a blighted property, cited them, whether they hired someone to come clean the property, we could not tow anything. So that fixed that today when they voted to change that in. You still have to go through the battle with code enforcement, report it, make it a violation, they go through that whole process. It doesn't happen fast, but once they do that, regardless of how whatever it is has to be removed, they take care of that all the way. It's just like hiring someone to come cut the grass when it's only a high grass. If it's debris removal, they're gonna have to just hire someone who does debris removal and take care of it. And it may, I won't say there won't be a funding issue. I mean, Mr. DeMarco will make it change that, but if they don't have funding, it may delay the process. It's gonna be all on the code enforcement department to prioritize how they're gonna do that.
Okay, so that brings me to the next question with legal. What are y'all doing to these people, like, you know, that are just abandoning properties? Are y'all even trying to take them, or, I mean, is the parish trying to take these properties from the people? Or are they just gonna keep letting the grass grow and no consequences? Where's the accountability on that side?
So if you're in violation of one of the abatement ordinances, we can cite them. Like I said, we got this program off the ground. We can cite them. We could put that on the tax rolls, and then if they fail to pay on the tax rolls, then the property would go to tax sale. But it really doesn't do much good for us because then the property becomes our property. And then we're stuck with a piece of property that we can't do anything with for at least 3 years. And so then it's just more maintenance and more stuff for the parish to do. So what we try to do through this process is to get individuals to comply, to be good neighbors, and to do what they're supposed to do. So yeah, and, you know, we've done that on grass cutting for a very long time. We'll put liens on people's property. And, but what has not had been done in the past was put it on the tax rolls. So the hope will be once they're put on the tax rolls, when people go to pay their taxes, they'll have to pay the fine at that time.
So that's something that you're saying is possible, but that's currently part of the ordinances, right? That's in it. That if your property goes untaken care of, we can put a lien on it and you have to pay. We've offered to buy the property from the neighbor. He refuses to sell it. The neighbor up the street, this is some small town drama, the neighbor up the street has a lifetime restraining order against him. He's clinging on to this house to stay by her. Okay? We just wanted to stay cut. We have a child who's on the
Look,
street.
I don't get involved in all that. All I can tell you is
We
if
annoying.
you have a
I need
If-
options. We
yeah.
pay taxes. We
Well,
love living in Braithwaite. We
I-
don't want to live in Belchase where it's busy. We just want our neighborhood cleaned up.
look, you can call the code enforcement office. You can report the parcel,
I
the
can't
property.
because that number's not available. I have to go through Ms. Tasha every time I want to speak to her. There's no email, there's no number available. Why is that not public?
Call the permit office. You'll speak to somebody.
Okay, well, I'll do that. But I would call Kathy.
And I think it's code enforcement. At the next council meeting, there is an email too. I'll figure out what it is. It's
Yeah.
Is that something new?
the whole program is new. So yeah, everything
I
is.
remember whenever it rolled out about 9 months ago and I said, oh, wow, they did something. I was impressed, very impressed.
Yeah, no, they've been sending the letters out, sending the notices out. I think there's a hearing scheduled in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks. Some people have responded, so we give them an opportunity to come into compliance. So we don't, we're trying to work with people. So, but yeah, there's a hearing scheduled for the folks who have not come into compliance yet. I think within the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No, thank y'all.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ganovich.
I
Now,
just want to thank all of y'all for the equipment at the Braithwaite Park. Thank y'all.
now when you do turn them in, if you like District 9, they'll tell you it's rural acreage and they don't have to clean it.
I live in a subdivision.
They got, Citrus City's a subdivision. Rural acreage.
Okay. I'm sorry, Pat.
I just wanted to say, I just looked at the flyer that came out today for code enforcement. There's no call to action, there's no telephone number or email address on the flyer.
All right, well, I'll speak to Jeff and I can get with Amitra and them and make sure,
I'm going to combine mine since this is kind of similar, if that's okay, Reverend.
You most certainly can.
So, I don't know if you live in Braithwaite Park. Is that where you live? Okay. Well, I drove through Braithwaite Park, and there's a lot of houses in there too. I drove through there on my way down today, just to look and everything. But my question is, or code enforcement, I did get updates today, but I've had 2 or 3 people call the permit office, but then they were told that for code enforcement, they have to go through the council member. Is that correct or not?
Not as far, no, that
Okay.
shouldn't be correct.
So can we get a phone number or who they're supposed to talk to? Because I know the contract is with Zach Smith, but it's not like we're giving his phone number out. It's because he's a contractor. So can we get a phone number and a email where residents can send their complaints in? I mean, I don't mind forwarding the request, but if we're going to have the code enforcement department, we need to have ways for the residents to relay that.
We'll send an email to the council tomorrow with all the point of contacts. And then, like I said, I know they were updating the website to put more information on there as well. So I'll have to find out where that's at.
Okay, and then going forward, can we get a monthly update on the status of, because we got one, I'll say, end of March, and I haven't heard back in a while, so I followed up and got half of mine that I had listed responses, and then today I got the rest. But if we could get monthly update, I mean, it doesn't have to be weekly or anything, but a monthly update, that way when residents call, hey, what's the status of this? We actually can give them an answer, and they're not hounding permit office or code enforcement. We can pass on that information.
I'll make that happen.
All right, so that was my District 3 update, but since we were talking about code enforcement, I saw some of the issues in Braithwaite Park, I just said, let's combine it. I yield.
Thank you. All right. Next item.
D, District 2 update, water pressure issues on Keating and Gerald Streets, water rate increase.
Mr. Champagne?
Cue in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted, we discussed this at length at the last council meeting. I'd like to thank the administration, Infomark, New Orleans Sewage and Water Board, and the entire administration from jumping on this issue, because it was important. It is important that we maintain adequate water pressure. Did a good job in checking on this, and since I put this in as something to discuss, the issue has been resolved. We took a look at it, and we were meeting and exceeding the minimum water pressure that needed to be provided in that area. So just want to make sure that that was out there and that everyone knew that this would became a high priority issue and was addressed by everyone. I see that we have the lady here from the daycare. If you'd like to speak, please come up.
Jessica Delat with Brighter Horizons, located at 107 Keating Drive. I don't know how this has been resolved, but we'll go through that. As many of you are aware, this is my second time addressing you on this critical matter. The significantly low water volume is not just impacting our operations and the services we provide, but it is threatening to close us down if a solution is not found immediately. We have engaged multiple third-party contractors to investigate the source of this problem, and their findings consistently point to an issue outside of our property system, specifically at the main line. Our most recent report, dated June 24th, 2025, from Southern Backflow Inspections, a licensed professional, further corroborates this. Their inspection revealed that the pressure at our fire tree gauges reached 55 psi. However, when they opened the 2-inch main line on the fire tree, both gauges dropped to 0 psi. Crucially, it took approximately 3 to 4 minutes for the pressure to return to 55 psi after closing the drain. This is a direct indication of very low water volume, which Southern Backflow Inspection states can only be caused by a valve that is not fully open and is a city problem. The problem is not in the building. They even removed the check valves from our backflow and ran a camera down the line to the fire tree, confirming there are no obstructions in our system. Their conclusion is definitive. This is a city valve that is not fully open or a city valve that is broken. It is important to note that our system was correctly permitted and installed in 2018, and there have been no changes to our internal system since then. Therefore, if the system was functioning correctly when installed and has not been altered, how is it acceptable for it to not work now, and how is that my issue to fix? Despite these consistent findings from independent professionals and the fact that our system remains unchanged and was correctly permitted, we are being told that this is an issue we need to fix. I want to reiterate that all investigations show the problem is not within our building's internal plumbing. We have invested time and resources into these inspections to accurately diagnose the problem, and the evidence clearly points to a municipal infrastructure issue. We are not asking for a handout, but rather for your assistance in resolving this problem. We desperately need the city's expertise and resources to investigate and rectify this problem at the main line. I understand that there may have been some prior communications regarding options for this investigation. While there was an initial offer for the city to investigate at its expense, that offer was rescinded shortly thereafter. We have had multiple independent contractors investigate this issue to try and find a solution since October 2024, when we first became aware of the problem. And we genuinely welcome anyone else trying to help us find a solution. Our priority is to ensure safe and adequate water supply to Brighter Horizons. This is not just our problem. It impacts the well-being of those at our facility and highlights a potential issue in the city's water infrastructure that could affect others. We cannot continue to operate safely and effectively under these conditions. We respectfully request that the city take the necessary steps to investigate and resolve the partially opened or broken city valve that is causing this persistent low water volume. We are eager to collaborate and provide any further information or access needed to expedite a resolution. Thank you for your time and consideration. So I know that you all received an email that said that the administration was going to send out a third-party company to come out and investigate an engineer. 2 hours later, I received an email that excluded all of you councilmen that said that all the permits were required, they met all the permit standards, and they were giving me 20 PSIs, and that they came to a conclusion and that it was over with. but they excluded all you council members from that email. I do have a copy of that email right here if anybody needs it, but that's why they are saying that it is no longer a problem and that it is fixed. It's not fixed. It's still a problem. The fire marshal will be out tomorrow to give me a piece of paper that says I have 25 days to fix it. The fire marshal says it is a problem on the city and it is not a problem on my end. So, will somebody answer some questions for me?
Can I just ask one question? When you say in the city, are you referring to the parish or are you referring to Jefferson Parish, New Orleans?
I'm referring to Plaquemines Parish, not Orleans.
That's what I wanted to make sure.
Okay. I've spoken with Orleans several times.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure when you saying city, you're talking about Plaquemines.
I'm talking about Plaquemines Parish.
Mr. Champagne?
First of all, I want to make clear that there was no intent to deceive or not put everybody in, but everybody does not to be, it's not to hide anything. But I will tell you that they have been addressing this. I know that the minimum requirement by law is 20 pounds per square inch. I know they're exceeding that. What I have not heard from you, and I'd like to hear, what is the requirement of your system sustained water pressure? What is that? Because I do know in that area that your toilet's flush, the water runs, they meet the requirement. Now, if your pump exceeds that requirement, then that is clearly on the owner. I know that we have other businesses that have fire suppression systems, and I applaud you for getting that. But they have fire suppression systems that have a demand that exceeds the capacity of the city water. And they have to add tanks and pumps to supplement that. They have to do that. PMC, for example, had to do that right here in Belle Chase. The city there was meeting the minimum water pressure, but it could not sustain the demand of the pump. And I've yet to hear from you, and I know they're asking, what is the demand of your system? Now, I know that the parish went out there with Mr. Morgan from Infomark, he was there, Mr. DeMarco was there, and you were there when they ran a water pressure test and were getting 60 PSI on the water line. They were there. You were there.
They opened 1/2 inch line. You have to open two. You have to open a 2-inch line.
I'm not a water expert, and that's why I got it on here. I'm trying to figure this out, by goodness, 'cause I want you to be.
But how did in 2018, everything, the parish signed off on all of the permits, all of the inspections?
Ma'am, I can't answer that. I want you to pass the inspection. I want to get you right, and that's why this is on here. And I'm trying to figure, that's why I'm asking the questions. I know we have people who may be able to answer that. Jeff, you're here, Mr. Morgan's here. Please speak to this. Let's resolve this issue.
The line that we opened when we were all standing out there that afternoon, that was the 6-inch main coming from Sewage and Water Board and the 4-inch fire suppression on your system, on your end. And both were reading 58 to 60 pounds of pressure when we opened those two valves.
Correct, but you took my backflow and you opened up 1/2 inch line. I have to have 2 inches that will flow to my backflow system. So you opened up a 1/2 inch line.
Again, that's my question. Is that specific to your system? If is that a specific system requirement, then I don't see that being a parachute. That's what we have to figure out. Is that a requirement for the parish to fulfill the needs of your system that's unique to your system? That's what I don't know, and no one will answer that. Is that unique to your system, or is that a parish requirement?
Approved in 2018 that the parish put all its stamps on, and it all worked.
Mr. Champagne?
It worked for all these years, and then now it doesn't work.
Well, we have, Mr. LaFrance made sure Mr. Morgan was at these meetings, so I think this is one period of time you need to justify being here. Can you give us your take on what's being said since you was present, and we rely upon you to be our expert?
Robert Morgan, Infomark. I believe Miss Jessica's system it's high tech. I ain't gonna lie about that. It's real. It's a high tech system. Now her system, the line that me and Jeff and Gerald was out there, that was a 4-inch line. The 8-inch line that came across the street was a 8-inch line, Jeff. It was an 8-inch. 8-inch one in the road. And her fire line, it read 60. It had read 60 across the road and read 60 PSI on her side. Now, what's inside her building, I have no idea. I don't know what is required to run. I don't know how it's ran. I have no idea. I know what we required to make at the main and at the meter. That's what I know we're required to do. Now, after it's turned on, I don't know what it's supposed to maintain. I don't know what her system requires it to run. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know that. I don't know what the fire marshal requires them. I just know what we require.
Are we meeting the minimum requirements?
Yes.
And that's what I understood. And again, we're hearing for third-party contracts, and I'll tell you, Jessica, you sent that video, which I appreciated, and even the guy said we were meeting the minimum requirements. In his own video, he said we're at 60 PSI, then he turned it on and it all dropped. And in my mind, and I'm not an expert here, that looked like it was the system requirement. The demand of the system was greater than we can supply, but it exceeded the requirements that we needed to supply. And again, I'm on your side. I want to figure this out. Somebody knows the answer. What is that?
We have to get, I would say, something on inside the building. Something with her system that she has is very high tech. Her system that she has is a high tech system. It's not a cheap fire suppression system at all. It requires a lot of water. It's not so much of a PSI. It's a volume. It's a volume problem.
Right. And we can't not meet the volume. Now there is a solution. Again, there is a way to. PMC did it. They made a capital investment into the tank and in the pump system, and it enabled the parish system to keep up. And I don't know. I don't know what the requirements. I think that may be something you have to consider. Now, it's an investment in your suppression system. That suppression system, it's an investment, and that's a capital investment. You could write it off. I don't know what right is. We have got to. You got to come up with something. I think. Have you spoken to the people who put that system in and seen that would resolve it? No one's answering that question. If we put the pump in there and the tank in there, does it fix your problem?
So yes, I have spoken with Jefferson Sprinkler. He is out of town this week on vacation, but he does have everything in writing and everything, but I can already see where this is going. So, once again, was not told that I was on the agenda for today until yesterday when somebody called and told me that I was on the agenda. Very disappointing that they're not being told that I'm on the agenda for these council meetings.
Every week. It's published. You can look.
You're my council member. You know I'm having this problem. I really would appreciate a phone call. I could have had parents here today to back me up and everything else. But I've already understood that, and I've already been told by everybody else, I'm going to go ahead and get a lawyer in this situation. So I'm done. Thank you for all your help with everything. This obviously is not going to get solved any other way. So I appreciate it. Thank you for all your help.
So is there a need for anybody to speak since she says okay, all right, yes. Patty first.
A lot of my concerns have been asked and addressed by Mr. Champagne, but I'm wondering, I know that we were going to get an independent consultant to come out and take a look at the situation. Mr. Robert Morgan, did an independent person go out and look at her side? Okay. So do we know that there's not a problem between the meter, the valve on the street and your building in the ground?
But I put a pump on to see if that'll work.
No, we've already established that the pressure from the valve across the street to her
building,
to her fire suppression is the same, it maintains
building.
pressure from the valve to the fire, to her backflow preventer. It maintains 60 PSI,
and the
58 to
backflow
60.
preventer is not at the, on the side of the street, it's at the building itself, the backflow valve?
It's right at the beginning of her service.
Which for my house would be out by the street, so I'm
Correct.
asking. Okay, so I'm wondering for her, is there a problem between the street where we bring the water into the meter and your building? And then is there a problem in your building? We need verification. Anything beyond the street valve is your responsibility.
I have I have everything in writing. This is the third time I've had somebody come out. From the meter to my building is completely clear. They did a camera on Friday. They did the inspections. I have all those reports.
And your PSI is what?
From where?
from the street to your building?
When you turn on the backflow, when you turn on the city pressure?
When they seal up the pipe and they can do a pressure test, your pressure from the street to your building is what? That's one point we got to test. The other is from the beginning of your building to your system.
When they're not using the sprinkler system, I have 55 PSIs.
Okay. What I'm saying is, we need to find out where the problem is. And in order to do that, you do a pressure test.
The pressure test, when it's normal, is 55 PSIs.
But you didn't isolate different sections to find out where that could be. Is it from the street to the building? Is it from the building to where your fire suppression system starts? Is it inside your walls? You see what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to troubleshoot the
Her
problem.
system's outside. It's not in her building. It's not
on two
even,
separate
it's
lines.
not nothing to do with the building itself. Her system goes through the sprinkler system, and that's another system.
So then it might be something in your sprinkler system that's suppressing the pressure.
They ran a camera all through my sprinkler system.
There are valves that suppress pressure. Have you ever bought a later model faucet or sprinkler head? They all have something that reduces the pressure amount to conserve water. So we're just saying we need an independent pressure test. I've done pressure tests at my house because I have a swimming pool. It tells us if there's a leak somewhere or if there is a minus point in the pressure system, if there's a problem somewhere.
Okay.
That's what we need to know. And it would be great if we had an independent person take a look at that. You think we can do that? Because then if it's on her side, then you have to take care of it like Mr. Schultz said. Mr. Champagne said.
If it's on my side, I will absolutely take care of it.
Okay.
Since October, I have gotten everybody under the sun to come out there. If it's
Right.
on my side, I'm going to take care
So
of it.
that's what we need to determine.
So how about,
It-
I will take care of that, I will pay
Thank
for
you.
that, and I will get that done. I've asked several times for the valve across the street
Excuse
to
me.
be dug up. and
Excuse me, ma'am, excuse, I think we've been at this at great length.
You are completely right.
Yeah, and I think you made the statement about what she's gonna do. Councilman Schultz, you said you just have a question to Morgan, because I think we need to move this forward.
I have a question for Robert Moore.
Well, I got a question too.
Okay,
Put Schultz in the queue.
so,
Robert Moore. So.
Mr. Morgan, when you come to the hot seat,
Jessica, what company did you have inspect last week that you, I'm assuming you were quoting from the report saying that it's obviously a city valve that's partially closed or something? Because what is your response to that? Because if that's another company, is that Jefferson Sprinkler or another company?
Southern Backflow Inspection.
So that's a second company that's saying it's on our side. Well, I'm just saying that I know of. So I don't understand how we have two companies saying it's on our side, yet we're saying we're good to go. So, can you respond to that?
I haven't seen nobody said it's on, this is the first one that said it's on the city side. What are the other one you saw that said it's on the city?
I thought Jefferson Sprinkler was also saying that it was
No.
that it was nothing wrong with their sprinkler system, that it's something coming from the city or the parish. Okay. So, and then I just don't, that's my only question is that's because I haven't seen that report or anything, but I just don't understand how a company is saying, obviously there's an issue, but we're saying no issue.
I have another email put together, it's gonna have that on it, because last week we had 3 inspections. The backflow specialist, Herbert Miller, who came out and red tagged me again, the plumber who came out and ran the scope, and also checked the valve across the street, and he said it's broken.
Yeah.
I've asked for that valve across the street to be dug up, and it has never been dug up.
Okay. I just, like I said.
Inframark did dig that valve up. I can't give you a date. I could go back and look at that, but Gerald with Inframark had that dug up himself to make sure that valve is open.
If you could send us that report and then Robert, I guess, respond to that?
Yeah.
Well, 30 days, after July 25th, before you shut these house meetings.
Skonovich.
Robert,
Yes, sir.
we got a sprinkler system here, we got one in the Bureau's auditorium. I know before, they wasn't never checked, but I went checked today and it's checked, but how do we get the pressure here, 3 stories, to keep the sprinkler systems going for the time they have to go, but she can't get hers?
That I don't know. That's the problem.
'Cause I can guarantee you, we don't have the water pressure here or in Bureau's that you need to run it.
I'm sure her sprinkler system is a much more sophisticated system
very sophisticated.
than what's in Bureau's auditorium.
Yeah, it's not the average sprinkler system that you're thinking. It's very sophisticated. Yeah.
But here's a 3-story building, how can we keep?
I'm sorry, let me get you back.
We don't have pressure over here neither, that's why those apartments.
He's on. Go ahead.
That's why those apartments that came up in Belchase by the air base moved over there, they were supposed to be over here.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the water pressure to put it two stories up and get them sprinkler systems. I don't understand how we can't get her.
I don't understand how she passed. She's been passing all the time, and then now she started failing. So that's why it's not over with. I told Miss Jessica that I want her, I wanted to be better than how she feel now, but we're still looking at it. If anything we can do, we're not going to leave her out to dry, because the pressure is 60. Now, if something happening between the volume pulling water to it's dropping down or whatever the case may be, we're going to figure it out. We're
Can we get a
going to figure
product
it out.
rep? Can we get a product rep from our sprinkler system, come look at it, and maybe that's the expert we need, whoever manufactured that sprinkler, can their product rep come take a look at it? Because maybe something we're all missing, it may be something very simple, like Councilwoman McCarty said, it could be just a weird valve in the system that's operating, that who knows, we don't know. We want to get you right. But is he the product rep that reps that line who can say, yeah, my system is good to go? That's who we need to link. He's the subject matter expert on your unique sprinkler system. You're the subject matter expert on our water supply. Y'all two need to talk because she needs to stay in business because we're counting on a daycare for kids in the northern end of our parish.
We actually got New Orleans Sewage and Water Board involved too. We asked them to run some pressure tests on their side from hydrant to hydrant to see if anything dropping when somebody pulling on the system. So things are not over with. I'm not going to say it's over with we're just not going to leave her out to dry. So I have in contact, me and Jeff, we have in contact with a guy named Jordan with the city of New Orleans. So we are going to have some more pressure tests ran in that area. So it's not over with yet. We're still looking into it because if it's dropping, if we're getting 60 and if it's dropping and it's going back up because it said 3 to 4 minutes later, it's going back to 55 PSI. So but we're going to have to figure something out. If it's maintaining 55 PSI the whole time, and then when it's turning the system on, it drops to, I guess, 15 PSI. It's a volume problem. That's the only thing I can say. It's a volume problem.
That's why we need the product rep. And again, if we can include the reason I think the other council members want to include on this, you get enough stuff. You don't need District 2 specific stuff. And so there was no intent to deceive or anything like that. But again, could you please keep us in a loop? If y'all could link up with her product rep, let's help her out and get her in business and give her the answer. If the answer is it's on us, it's on us. If it's on her, it's on her. And then we need a solid answer. That's all she's asking for.
I agree.
Thank you. I yield.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, come on. We went way over anyway.
So everybody is under the understanding that it is the fire marshal that is going to shut me down. It is not the fire marshal that is going to shut me down, but he is going to have to write a report up that says I am not in good standing. When he writes this report, it is going to go to the state licensing Board of Education. When they come out and they see that the fire marshal says that I'm not in good standing, they are going to shut me down. Once they shut me down, there is nothing that anybody else can do. They're going to tell me, you're done. We're not taking responsibility for this. and you are shut down. So I know everybody's trying to make phone calls to the fire marshal, doing everything they can, and the fire marshal's like, oh, we're not gonna shut you down. We wouldn't do that to you. That's fine. The fire marshal is not going to shut me down. He's trying everything he can to help me. But when the State Department of Licensing comes out, and they have to come out by October because that is my renewal, but they can also come out at any time. When they come out, there's nothing that anybody's going to be able to do.
Or they might be, because the last administration, I opened the Bureau's auditorium for tornado warnings. All of a sudden, the fire marshal showed up and shut it down. Somebody knew that the fire sprinkler system wasn't up to date. So we worked with the fire department that they had to come make a round every so often. If we could get the fire department, one person to go ride over there every half hour or whatever.
No, sir.
Until we could get this
I'm
taken care of.
already doing fire watch.
Oh, the fire department has to do it.
No, fire department told the fire marshal that they did not have enough people to sustain sending somebody over there. And so I'm already doing fire watch, where every hour one of us is having to walk the building and do the fire watch. And so I'm already doing the fire watch. But once the State Department comes out,
But if we had a fireman going every half hour or hour, that might show the people we working on and extend you without
and you can try that as well. But I will tell you that Billy Nungesser is a personal friend. I did reach out to Billy. I understand that I have, excuse my language, pissed off a lot of people that I did that. But when I explained to Billy about the fire marshal, Billy told me himself, once the state gets involved, the licensing department, there's nothing even he can do. They're not going to get egg on their face by letting a daycare stay open that does not have a fire sprinkler system that's working. They're not going to let the daycare catch on fire with 136 kids in it and let it burn down and take the blame for it.
I'm just putting that out there.
I hope to God that you can help me and you can call somebody.
While we working on it.
And that, yes, so I hope to God that something you can do can help me. I pray for that. But I just want to make sure it's understood, because Billy didn't understand either at first, that it's not the fire marshal. It's the state. The state could show up tomorrow. And if they show up, it's the state that does it. It's the state that is going to shut me down. It is not the fire department or the fire marshal. It's the state, and they can show up at any time. So somebody knows somebody in the Department of Education, they can help, that's great. But I am already doing the fire watch every hour. Plaquemines Parish said they didn't have enough firemen to sustain sending them somebody over there every hour to do that. So we are already doing the fire watch and complying with that. But I just wanted to explain to you that it is the state, so that is, if we get shut down, which will definitely be in October if it is not fixed, because that is when my annual is due. But if they show up before that, that is when that happens. And so if parents are coming to you or they, email you or anything like that, that's what happens when the state comes out. So I just want to say that. Thank you.
Jessica, I don't want to beat this to death, and I know we can sit here and talk about it because it is important. Administration, let's get together and have an answer by the next council meeting. It'll give you enough time. It's within your window, and we got to have a definitive answer. I want to know, what is the minimum requirement? Is a sprinkler system actually a requirement? Are there alternatives? Can it be fire extinguisher? I don't know what it is. I don't know. We need to make sure we're all on the same page, because I want you to be made whole, and I want the right answer. And I know it doesn't seem like it here, and I feel bad that you feel like you're in a position where we're not trying to help you. We don't know. The 9 of us aren't fire department folks. None of us are sprinkler system experts, but by goodness, we can get together and figure this out collectively. And I commit that we want to do that, Jessica. So
I don't feel like you're not trying to help me. I just feel like you're trying to put it off on me.
I'm not.
And I'm not looking for a free handout.
I know that.
I'm not looking for you to sit here and pay for a system for me. I mean,
Nope.
When I started in October, I did everything I possibly could to find out if it was on my end and if I needed to pay for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm a small business.
Yep.
I can't afford $150,000 to put in this tank system and this generator and everything. But I mean, I am a small business, and if it's on me and I have to do it, then that's what I have to do.
We-
So I'm not looking for y'all to bail me out of something.
Look, we owe
I
you
just-
alternatives too. If that became one of the courses of action, we owe you several courses of action. We need to help you get there, and our committee will try to do that. So, I mean, I don't want to sit here and have you up here and now we're just doing a lot of talking and nothing's really getting accomplished. I really would like the administration to commit to working with you in between now and the next council meeting, having some answers for you. We owe you that. We owe each other that. We owe the community that. So I know Robert, he's committed to working with you. He stood right up there and told you he will. I know New Orleans Sewage and Water Board's talking to us. They want it resolved. We need an answer. And I
Correct.
ask the administration, between now and the next council meeting, can we have an answer?
We'll do whatever we can to move towards that answer.
And I just think, Mr. Champagne, it's not about coming back to council about resolving the issue. I think some issue could be resolved without it coming back to the
But
council.
Jessica, I promise, yeah, it's gonna be on here.
So,
again. It's gonna be on here again next week.
No, the only thing I'm saying, the only thing I'm saying to you is that it's not about just resolve the issue. If it don't come back, then we're gonna assume it's resolved. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
I'm still up. Oh, and then we're not talking about water, the rate increase. Nobody wants to talk about this. This is an enterprise fund, and it's not supporting itself anymore. We're going in the hole every day. No one wants to talk about it. But guess what? It's not paying for itself. And I know people say, well, why should we raise the water rate? Because we can't provide water. Well, the very revenue that we use, or the revenue stream that we would use to normally maintain the water system or to improve it, is now going to be spent paying the bills. So I know it's a thing nobody wants to talk about, but I only bring it up there because it has to be talked about it. And we have budget hearings coming up in a couple of months, and by goodness, that's a showstopper for me, so I just want to make that public. I yield.
Okay. McCarthy.
Mr. Champagne, I have someone in my district that is avoiding paying their water bill because our system allows them to get a water bill up to a certain amount, then it's going to be turned off, and then they go and change the business name, and that bill disappears, and now they've got water in the building again. Yes. Well, that's what's happening, so I'm going to try and fix that, so maybe we can work together on that. You know, that's what's happening exactly in Fort St. Leon. Thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Patty referring to a business that said they pay the bill like 3 months straight. Then they might they pay some of the bill, then they might pay another. What would the account that she's talking about? That we took over. I think they had a bill of maybe $900. Instead of paying the bill, they went and changed all the bills and put in another person's name. So if they come in there with 2 bills, they come into the office with 2 bills, they can start a new service in somebody else's name. That's on the ordinance. Y'all have to change the ordinance. So, you, Chris.
I got a question. Look, Mr. Robert, at what point do we stop water service? Do we even do that? Can someone go unpaid for 12 months and still have water service?
Well, the counts that we're finding those are the ones that we're turning off now. Those are the ones we're getting PPSO involved. People have you miss 2 months of service, you're on the turn off list.
Okay, so
you're on the turn off list.
60 days.
Yeah, you get a late fee, and then next month you get turned off.
But if they make a partial payment, does that extend that? So if someone says
No.
$10,
No.
Can't stop partial.
No.
Mr. Conover.
Yeah, I'll talk about water increase every time you want to talk about it, because I'm not voting for it. Until we find out where 40% of the water that we not getting paid for goes, how can we go up on anybody's rate? And if they agreed it was 40%, but it's probably more than that. And number 2, I got a call yesterday. A man just got a water meter in, put it in over here last month. You know what his bill was this month? $41,000.
He probably used more than that.
41,000. So they put a new meter in, and he bought the property from somebody who moved away. They must have went from the last hurricane when it flooded over here till today, $41,000. So our billing system still ain't right.
We're getting a new billing system. We'll get a new billing system. We still got to start charging them. So we are getting up some of those accounts that we're finding that's old and not being paid. We are turning those people off. So
How are you addressing what he just said?
I haven't gotten it. I'm pretty sure he'll text it to me later on today, and then I have to look at it.
Yeah, please look into that. 'cause
He haven't texted me that one, Judge.
I mean, please look into that, because that don't make any sense.
That don't make any sense.
Thank you. Okay.
You should know who I'm talking about.
That's the one you want us to take him to jail, right?
No, that was another one.
All right, y'all are personal stuff. Can we move on? Ms. Schultz, you have anything you want to add?
It's better than the $96,000 bill that my resident had for nothing on the land. So, yeah, I agree with you. It's a mess. So, how many months did that take to get fixed, Robert? And what, 6 months? So.
Second.
I got just one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
one comment.
Withdraw my second.
Just one comment, that's okay. Got a call from DOTD, Mr. Scott Boyle. The lights on Woodland Bridge, the responsibility lies on the city of New Orleans. New Orleans has been fixing them, and every time they get them fixed, the crooks come out, they still, so they're exploring solar lights. And I've also told them that we would talk as well as far as getting some type of security cameras so that, if they need that in the future, that we can monitor it with the substation. I think.
Oh, that's what you mean, okay.
I told them that we'd be willing to do that
How about that?
as well, so.
Motion.
Second.
That's right. We have a motion to adjourn anxiously by Councilman Schultz. Can we get some anxious seconds? Machine is open for voting. And because he's so anxious, he's so anxious.
You got to call it. You got to call it.
Call the vote. 9 to 0.
But not, after 9, the meeting is so, the council meeting is adjourned.